Hey, did you know that your brain can generate between 10 to 23 watts of power whilst you're awake? And that's enough to light up a bulb. Can you imagine that? Now, that's not the end of it. Surprisingly, within 24 hours span, your brain can generate over 70,000 thoughts. 70,000 thoughts, and that's how much power your brain has. Now, amongst all this, there are a lot of challenges that comes in between day in, day out, and then we have to find a way to motivate ourselves. We have to find a way to keep ourselves focused on whatever we set out to do. And one of the frequent questions I get asked by my friends and a couple of people around me, and also anytime I go out to meet people and to talk to people, is that how do I stay focused and motivated? And in this video, I want to share some of the tips and tricks that I use to stay motivated and focused, through my daily lifestyle and then everything I do. So in this video, I want to share with you about 10 of them that you can use today to help yourself stay focused and motivated. Let's jump right into it. Hi there, I'm EdwinDela, your brand strategist, creative director, and growth mindset coach. If you are new here, do hit the subscribe button and share this video with a friend. I know it's going to help someone. It's going to help someone that you know. It's going to help some business owner or a friend who usually find it difficult to stay motivated and focused. So do share this video with them. Let it help them also and let it transform their lives. Let's grow together. Cheers. All right, so the first trick that I use to help myself focus is that I like to clear the table. Usually we find ourselves in the world of distractions where there are lots of things distracting us here and there. Sometimes even the environment you find yourself in can be very distracting. So if you realize that you find yourself in a situation or an environment where it's very distracting for you to focus, what do? You have to change your scenery. So if you have to move from one location to the other to be able to get you at your maximum peak of focus, it's advisable that you do it that way. It's far better that way than staying in a permanent location where it's going to be a struggle for you to focus, whereby if you're supposed to complete a single task in a day, because of how distracted you are, you're not able to finish that task. That's a wasted hour of the day. That's a wasted time of the day. But rather, if you find yourself in that destructive environment, just distract yourself, move away from where you are to a couple of clicks away or blocks away. That would help you. If it's at home that you realize that there's so much distraction there that you can't focus, find a focus partner that you can go to that would help you, or you can stay there and utilize your space for the meantime until it's far better at home or wherever you have to be, and then you just switch back there again. Another technique I use on a daily basis is that I like using sticky notes. So if you can see behind me, there are some sticky notes on the wall. So each day when I wake up, I try to set new goals and then I put them on the wall. But what I really do, which helps me a lot, is that I break down all my goals into micro goals. So I don't set huge goals because sometimes they scare me off and they become daunting on me. So I feel like I have this huge thing to do that at the end of the day becomes procrastination, and procrastination leads to laziness and all of that. So what I do is, if I pick a huge task, I try to break it down into 3-4 steps or 3-4 sets of activities. So then I can pick them one by one. And at the end of the day, by the time you realize, because it's in smaller bits, you don't really realize that you're doing something huge until you complete all of them. So I'll advise you that if you have big goals, try and then break them down into smaller bits. That way you're able to do them more rapidly, you're able to do them more quickly and finish on time. When you finish all of them and put it together, you realize that I've actually achieved a huge goal. But if you were to tackle it at a huge stage, you realize that you might, be disappointed or procrastinate. And at the end of the day, you don't end up doing it. I usually visualize my success before I even see them. And the reason why I started doing this was a personal experience that I went through where, sometimes when I'm achieving certain tasks or going through certain tasks, I start feeling them or seeing them as a lot of hard work instead of seeing them as a success task that I'm doing, that at the end of it all, I'll be rewarded. So I remember one time I was dealing with a client who was actually going to pay me good. I was very, very tired, within that time. But he actually promised me a good pay, and then because of the time frame that I was working, it was quite urgent for the client as well. So I had to put all resources together, stay up all night, burn the candle, and then finish the task. But in between those moments, I realized that I was feeling actually lazy. I was feeling, the procrastination thing was coming in. But once I realized that, hey, this client is going to pay you good when you are done, man, that came with a different kind of motivation. I was actually gingered up and actually delivered even before the time frame that we agreed on. And the client actually paid very well, and that was the success for it. So when you can visualize the success like that, it helps you stay motivated. It helps you stay focused on what you are doing or what you want to achieve by the end of what you are doing. That way it gives you clarity and much more focus on what you are doing. So I advise that whatever you are doing, try and then visualize it. If it's a business you are working on, try and visualize you getting 1,000 customers running to your door to purchase your service. Imagine the profit margin on that. If it's a particular task you are doing that is going to reward you, if it's the gym you are going to, just imagine seeing your body in a good shape that, you know, everyone is chasing after you, everyone is calling you, everyone is appreciating the body. That's how to visualize your success. So once you have that goal in mind, when you're going through the phase of doing the hard work, it doesn't really daunt on you anymore. It rather becomes more like you want to finish and see how the transformation is going to be. So anytime you're working on something, try to visualize the success side of it, and it's going to transform you. Now, in relation to having success or seeing success before the success comes, another trick that I advise you to use is to reward yourself when you finish a hard task. Now, sometimes we end up over rewarding ourselves because of, you know, how our activities goes or the struggle we go through before achieving a success. But sometimes as well, when you're going through those processes, motivation is good, but I think reward plays a crucial role. So in between those moments, if it's let's say a congratulation message that you send to yourself just to, you know, keep you motivated and keep you going, I think you should do that. If it's an item you have to buy for yourself, do that. If it's probably just go get some KFC or some McDonald's for yourself just to keep yourself motivated to power through that particular moment that you're going through or feeling down. So at that moment, that McDonald's is going to give you a good treat. It's going to give you a good treat. It's going to give you a good feel. And once you have that, I can guarantee that, you know, it comes with a different kind of feeling that powers you through the rest of the day to achieve what you want to achieve. Now, in relation to rewarding yourselves and working hard, another trick that really helps enough is that you need to take power naps, not sleep. Not sleep. This is a disclaimer. I'm not saying you should go and sleep. It's a power nap, so probably some 45 minutes, quick power nap, sometimes an hour, sometimes just some 5 minutes or 10 minutes power nap. Realize to be very effective when you do it properly, not sleeping over those. So probably you're working throughout the day and realize that you become drained or you're getting to a point where you feel like your body is breaking down. Just take some time off, about 10-15 minutes, 45 minutes at most. Just go get some good nap, not a sleep. I have to state this clearly. If not, you go to work and be sleepy and say EdwinDela said so. So please don't go and sleep, but just take a power nap for about 45 minutes, and that way it resets your body, revitalizes your body, and your body refreshes itself. So when you sit back to achieve a task, it's very easy for you to do. Now, there's a rule called the 2-minute rule, but I have extended it and modified it to do the 2 to 5 minute rule. And it says that if you can achieve a task under 2 minutes, you should do it now before you procrastinate. Reason being that if you can do it under 2 minutes, you have the motivation enough to be able to achieve it under 2 minutes, and you can do it quickly. But if you procrastinate it thinking that it's just 2 minutes and you'll be able to achieve it quickly, you might end up not doing it and procrastinating it to the next day and beyond. So I've extended it to 2 to 5 minutes because some tasks cannot be completed under 2 minutes. So under 5 minutes, I think there are a lot of activities you can do, or there's a particular activity that you can do. But because of the time frame, you might think that, oh, you know, because it's just 2 minutes or I can do this in a snap, you're going to procrastinate that. And at the end of the day, if you don't take care, you might miss it and not do it, and it will come back to hurt you at the long run. So if you can do it between 2 to 5 minutes, I'm begging you, just do it right away and then take it off your table. Another way of motivating yourself and staying focused in life or in your personal growth is to know your why. Now, extensively, I can talk or create a whole video on learning about your why and then finding out why. But let me make it much more simpler for you. One of my motivational speakers that I follow, called Les Brown, had this focused why of, you know, coming out of where he was born in an abandoned building in Miami, Florida, to an adopted mother. His main goal was that he wants to see a transformation in the mother's life and to get a home for the mother. So throughout his life, until he bought the home, his main focus was that he wanted to turn things around. He wanted to give the mom a better home. That was his why, and he focused on that till he achieved that. So you might not necessarily apply it in your own way, or it might not necessarily apply to you. But what you can do is that once you know your why, probably you want to take yourself out of a financial crisis. Probably you want to get a car for yourself. That might be your why. Probably you want to do an actual thing. Probably you want to have a financial status that you want to achieve. knowing that why you are doing something can give you a very great source of motivation for you to achieve it. So no matter what your why is going to be, it doesn't have to be complex. It doesn't have to be like Les Brown's own, that you have to buy a home from your mom. It could be, but it doesn't necessarily have to be that way. It could be a simple task as maybe clearing your debt. It could be a simple task as clearing your credit scores and getting better credit scores and all that. Once you have that why in mind, you can really focus. It really shapes you. And when you're going off straight, because of that why, it brings you back into focus. So having a why you do things gives you much more clarity and keeps you focused and motivated on your tasks. Now, we live in a digital world where we have a lot of technology distracting us, from your phones to your tablets to your laptop to the television. Anywhere you pass, there's technology waiting for you. One other way to keep you focused is that sometimes just do a detox. Sometimes put off your mobile phone, sometimes put off that tablet, put off the laptop. Just take some time off and then get clarity on what you want to do. I find it very effective for me, and I think it's going to help you to sometimes just put the phone aside just for some 2 or 3 hours. Have clarity, sit down, get some pen and paper, and then sit down and think through. Sometimes change the environment, like we mentioned earlier on. Change the environment and then take some time off. Let the phone be at one side of town, and then you also be at one side of town. Not necessarily that drifted apart, but just, let the phone be somewhere. Take some time off. That digital detox, it gives you much more clarity, and even gives your body some time to rejuvenate. It gives your eyes more reflective view of how to see things in a different perspective as compared to how you see things on phone and all that. And it also gives your eyes some more good health. So sometimes a digital detox helps you a lot in clarity, in focus, and also in motivation. One other thing that helps me also is my accountability friends that I have around me. So if I start going wayward, I have a couple of friends that usually keep me on my toes. I have a couple of friends that if I do certain things and they realize that it's off, they keep me on my toes. And I call them my accountability buddies because they help me keep accountable records of myself as I do to them as well. So I do for them, they also do for me. So that's how accountability buddies work. So you have to find 1 or 2 people that can keep you on your toes. When you're going off, they can keep you guided. When you're going off, they can call you and tell you, hey, I realize you're doing this and it's off. I realize you've not been focused on this. We're having to achieve this task you said you would do last week. Having someone like that helps you. In a way also, if you also feel like, I don't want to disappoint this person, so I'm going to work hard to achieve the things we decided or discussed that we are going to achieve within the time frame. So when you do that, it helps you stay focused. It helps you on task. It helps you stay geared towards what you have to do, just in order for the other party not to come, giving it to you to get you to, that point where you might even end up sacking them. And the disadvantage is that if you are not someone who is well-mannered, someone who is well-trained, someone who is really focused, you might miss that accountability buddy, because when that person is being responsible for doing their tasks, you might see it as annoying, and then you end up sacking them or having arguments with them, which might spoil the whole point. So please do all that. No matter who your accountability buddy is, if they reach out to you, be truthful to them, and that way it helps you build some kind of authority and responsibility for yourself. Because if you realize that you're supposed to achieve a task within, let's say, a 1-week span, and you are not able to achieve it, and that person calls you, I think it's fair to tell that person, I couldn't do it within a week. Probably I'll need a couple of days more to do that. That way, the accountability buddy also sees that, okay, you have a shortcoming here. They can help you one way or the other. So get an accountability buddy would help you become more focused and achieve more. Last but not the least, have some sort of motivation. It could be your parents, it could be a loved one, it could be your pet, it could be motivational videos. For me, I have a variety of them. I have a kind of pizza form of them. So I have a little bit of each of them that motivates me. Sometimes I just need to listen to certain motivational videos. Sometimes I need to listen to certain motivational speakers, a particular motivational speaker. My favorite of them would be Les Brown. I listen to him most often because I like his style of motivation and his sense of motivation as well. So you could find that one person or that particular person or activity or thing that gives you motivation. And once you find that, anytime you feel like you're getting depressed, anytime you feel like you're getting worn out, you're getting tired, just turn to that source of motivation, and to give you clarity, to keep you back up, to kick that engine in you to keep running again. Always keep in mind that motivation is the fuel and focus is the steering wheel. So the more motivated you are, the more fueled up you are. But the focus you need is the steering wheel. So no matter what you do, no matter where you find yourself, just keep in mind that you can actually be focused so far as you have a strategy to it. You can't just say, I'm going to be focused today, it's not going to work. You have to have a strategy to your focus. That way, when you want to be focused, there's a strategy to it. You follow that strategy promptly and you'll be able to achieve a lot. Well, that's it for this video. If you did enjoy this video, kindly subscribe and share this video with a friend. I know there are lots of people out there that speak to you about, losing motivation, losing focus and all that. Share this video with them. All the things I've listed here are practical things that I do personally and I help people do as well. So they are practical things. I'm not just reading them to you or saying them to you. They are practical things that if you take them into seriousness, it's going to help you a lot. Share in the comment section what you do to keep yourself motivated and focused when you're feeling down, or your unique strategy that you use. I want to learn about yours as well. So do leave it in the comment section and I'll read all of them. See you in the next video. Cheers.